Hello and welcome back to TONGYEONG. The elite men take over now here in South Korea as World Cup action continues in one of the last events on the 2024 calendar. It's not all done and dusted yet, and it's certainly not over in terms of the chase for gold medals in the World Cup stage. But there are plenty out there in this men's elite field that will certainly be eyeing one of their last chances to pick up a gold medal. It's a strong start list, as I say. Dylan McCulloch #1, the Australian Brandon Copeland, Takumi Hojo, both very experienced athletes indeed. Cantero will wear the #7. There's some talk as well about Roberto Sanchez Mantecon, the other Spaniard, wearing the #9. Both have strong run finishes, and it's, of course, as we've touched on already, Helen, that is very much in favour of a strong run come the end of it. And I think it's safe to say that the whole of the field is wary of those first two Spaniards' names on the board.
Definitely, and I think some of the men in this field know they've got a bit more of an edge on the swim, so they're really going to want to try and use that, like we saw in the women's race where it did break up and a group of women did stay away.
Interesting to see. Brandon Copeland was very slow to step into his starting position compared to everybody else, and slows on that left-hand side, including I think Dylan McCulloch, who's only nearest to that right-hand side as they go out towards the buoy, that are making good headway. Nicola Azzano, the Italian, in the thick of things as well, just towards the centre slightly, and it'll be interesting to see where the Frenchman Valentin Molek is finding himself at the start of this swim. In the meantime, over on that far end is where we're seeing some of the leaders starting to find the best bits of water, including one of the yellow caps, which I think is Takumi Hojo out there. Just for that slightly larger field that we've got here with the men today as opposed to the women, how much busier it gets on that inside. Just a few fighting for positions slightly shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm, as the leaders and McCulloch starts to bring them round the top section of this swim.
There's a bit of pressure with that #1 hat.
I'll tell you what, some people certainly rise to the occasion and see it as a motivational boost. For others, it does seem like a slightly more intimidating factor. Large number of people, and if they're so spread out, it might be a few of the stronger bike riders that might be slightly further back than they necessarily want to be and have to make up some ground early on, as McCulloch is the first out of the water, followed by the Frenchman Dupuy, who was trying to initially take the lead and be ahead of the New Zealand athlete, the Polish athlete as well. Masej Rustizak is the third man out of the water.
You don't need much. We've seen gaps in World Cups, World Series. We've seen them go from 1 second, 2 seconds, because that's just a really good transition. And that gap goes out a few more, and then that's enough.
Saw as well earlier today, even some of the best in the business, like Summer Rappaport, can sometimes struggle through transition and go from being 3 seconds up to 6, 7 seconds down on the leader. Rustizak at least getting his head in front for the moment and trying to surpass the athlete from New Zealand. There is a group of maybe 5 or so. They've just split away.
Yeah, they have over the second lap. Then we've got that second group and then the third group. And I think the third group, talking about maybe favourites coming into this, Davi Cantero might be in that third group.
It is Azzano who is alongside this leading group of 5 or so, as they're going to work their way out onto the blue carpet. Not the blue carpet they're hoping for at the end, of course, but the route down towards T1. It's the Australian Mercer who's going to bring them through. Braden Mercer, number 87th in the world, only 14 starts to his name coming into today, but 5 podiums, making up over a third of his races, which is certainly successful.
Yeah, he's a really good swimmer, and he's converted at the senior level quite quickly as well.
Frenchman Molek leading that next group through, although a little bit out on his own in terms of being in touch. Brandon Copeland and others down about 35 seconds, and still no sign of Cantero on our timing charts just yet. Santa in with a chance, 18 seconds off, as I say, one of the other fast Spanish athletes out there on the run.
It's Ben Dykstra. He's chasing hard. He was about 18 seconds back, so he knows he's really got to push the pace up this first hill, all in, to try and get to those athletes in front.
These two are going off a breakneck pace. Brusiak and McCulloch, I think it is, leading us off on the front 2 on the bike right now, and they're trying to find some pace and separation away from the rest of the field. We've got 3 riders behind them, and then this chasing group as well of about 6 or so, which Dijkstra's just on the back of there.
And this is perfect because although he maybe doesn't want to ride the whole race as a 2, they're pulling the field apart. There's athletes that aren't going to get back onto these groups. They're getting dropped early on because the pace is so high. Great effort from those 2. So I'm really intrigued now to see the split, and then we've got to keep an eye on the splits to see what they're doing, because that group behind, I think, will be getting a little bit desperate. They know just 2 athletes have gone up the road. They'll be trying to get there desperately, or even if 1 or 2 can jump over the stronger cyclists.
No such kerfuffle from the 2 out at the front. Is that gap just starting to come down? Or is it going out, being extended? 44-44 could be turning into a minute and 10 seconds or so, maybe.
Still not quite there, that 3rd group, are they? They got close, didn't they, within 20 seconds. Minute 7.
You can just see Cantero at the front of that 3rd group, just turning around, and again a watchful eye over the others in it, just saying, come on, we need to keep moving to catch up with that group. Willis driving hard at the front of the chasers. No one else with him right now.
Minute 7 last time through.
Could be
a minute 30?
Minute 20, a minute 30. Just judging it on eye alone. Wait for the official time, but yeah, that's hard on Jack Willis. If he has gone in on his own, he still just sees those 2 at the front continuing to go out. 1:23, Jack Willis trails the 2 leaders out there on the bike course.
Got a little group working together now. Jack Willis has got company. Don't know with,
I wonder if you're Jack Willis, you're saying, well, where were you guys 2 laps ago?
Yeah, I know. It would have been nice if it was more coordinated, but this isn't cycling. There's not team radios, is there, where you go off at this time and this point and we'll attack here and there. It's just, yeah, it's not like that. The communication they do have is literally timing splits from a coach.
Down into transition, these 2 go. There's going to be a big difference in their transition spots, that's for sure, between these 2 athletes.
Just keeping an eye on what those timing splits were. So we were 2:05 to the Jack Willis group, that's been joined by another couple of athletes, and 2:30 to that main group.
McCulloch is off at a pace straight away. He is not hanging around at all. As I say, just feel himself and get into a groove nice and early, which he seems to have done, as the chasers are only just coming out of transition. And it's not far off 3 minutes that they're coming out of transition behind either.
So that timing gap's through now, and to Jack Willis, Roberto Sanchez and Blake Harris, it's 2 minutes 40. And then to the main group is 3 minutes, over 3 minutes. That's Brandon Copeland, Nicola Azzano came in first, but I suppose the big runner, the one that we've been looking at, is David Cantero, so 3 minutes 5. That is huge.
It's like when you see on those nature documentaries the injured gazelle and the lions are just slowly catching up to him, and you start rooting perhaps for the gazelle a little as Cantero, you can see there, keeping up that phenomenal pace that he's got in those legs. And he is stalking his prey out on this run. He's making this look very routine indeed.
And it's nothing but routine. We don't see performances like this all the time. I mean, to lead the swim and really push on the pace for both athletes as well, because they both work together, but then to create that kind of gap over the first lap, 30 seconds, is absolutely insane. And everyone was going hard. They were all riding hard, but yeah, it's been a massively impressive performance, and the run speed is going to be slower than the fastest runners, but this is such a great all-round performance.
I wonder if there'll be a word from the fellow countrymen again as they pass each other. Look at the urgency coming from Kulik to his comrade, to his teammate.
Oh,
Cantero's getting to him, though, on the hill. You just see in the background, Cantero's made the pass.
Brziak needs the best kilometre of his life, doesn't he, to hang on to this podium now. He's just got to give it everything.
All the last energy reserves need to come out from the Polishman. Where is the Frenchman now.
And he's got to use Cantero if he can. Just try and stay with him. Just a second or two. Just use him on the downhill. Try and get back to him.
Just pace with the Spaniard if he can. After what was a frustrating time in Torremolinos a week ago, it's TONGYEONG that provides salvation in sensational fashion for the New Zealander. A win on the World Cup stage to wrap up a superb 2024 for Dylan McCulloch. And what an unreal way to do it. On another day, if it had gone right, it could have been another victory for Cantero on the World Cup stage, who is still finishing his 2024 with victories in Valencia and the Under-23 World Championships and a silver here in South Korea. And Maciej Bruciak is going to hold on for that podium spot, and it's everything that he deserves today after going with McCulloch throughout the majority of this triathlon. He couldn't hold on the run, but he is so pleased to find a podium spot at the end of it, because those two in particular deserved everything that they got today after making a Herculean effort as a duo out there on the bike. Maxim Huber-Musgruber coming through to take fourth place in the end. He just couldn't run down a podium spot, the Frenchman, coming from a little too far adrift in the end to be able to find a top three, and the run as well of Roberto Sanchez not quite enough compared to his fellow countryman Cantero will make up the top five. There are four in the top five, Helen, that you would have certainly had down as being there.
Yeah.
There's somebody who is perhaps the outlier who's going to be stood on that podium.
Oh, definitely. Came into the race ranked 36. I'm just seeing where his world ranking is. 280th in the world, so that'll move up after that race. Oh, amazing. Only 6 ever podiums, and most of them have been at the Polish National Championship, so that's a big result there.
Dijkstra coming in 6th. Jem, another one that we expected to have a very good run today, in 7th for France. It's the runners and riders come through in quite a rather large gaggle as they cross the line.
Yeah, that was incredible. It's the way I want to race. Swim hard, ride hard, not just sit in the pack, and then run as hard as you can. So I was really, really proud that we stayed away, and kudos to this man. I couldn't have done it without him. He was super strong today. So.
You had a great swim, and then you and Maciej just took off on the bike. Was that premeditated?
No, not at all. I felt really good in the water. I don't really normally like to lead the swim, but I was feeling good and wanted to push the pace, and then just get on the bike and push as many watts as you can and see who's around, and we worked really well together. So I'm really glad it was the two of us.
And then as the lead kept extending and extending, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I was. We don't have any staff or anything here, so I was trying to pick points on the road and then look at my Garmin and see what the time was to the pack, and each lap I could see it was going out, and I think on that last part it was nearly 2.5 minutes, so I was like, oh, far out, this is unreal. So I was quite confident coming into the run just to control it and run my pace, and I knew the Spanish guys were really quick, but still really happy to hold on.
My first time here in TONGYEONG, and it was a good one, but a really hard and tough race. But we could take the chase group, and then the leading group made by Dylan and Maciej, they were going strong. But I think that I was thinking all the time that in a 2 minutes difference on the run I could take them. But finally I did second. Very happy with my performance, and the best way to end this good season.
I mean, you've come off a win, and now a silver medal, so that's quite an exceptional run of 4.
Yeah, this is the best way to end the season, and it's always good to take that consistency on World Cup. And I'm happy, and then I'm happy for both them, because they did the race hard, and I'm happy for them. And for my part, that's all the season, and very happy to finish with the second place today.
I think everyone watching here felt your pain on the last 5K there. How was it?
It was difficult, but I'm really happy with the results, and I gave it all today. On the run, I knew it's not my best leg. I felt pretty strong on the swim and on the bike, So really all thanks to the Dylan. Like we did a really good job running away of the guys in the back. And yeah, I knew that I need to like keep the comfortable pace at the first 2 laps. And on the last 2, I was just like, I was like hearing the coach from Poland like shouting to me how many, what is the gap behind to David. And I just knew I need to give it all on the last lap. But I mean, guy is really fast, fresh cooked, world champion in under 23. So I am really happy about the result. I have never been on the podium of any honestly like major cups like European Cup. So it's like means a lot to be here and stand on the podium like even on the third place. For me, it's a win. It's a small win and it's a small brick in my career, and I hope it's gonna like go like this, and it's gonna go like this in the future, and I hope for a really good result also in Miyazaki. So
yeah, fantastic for every single one of the men that make up the podium today for different reasons. What a superb way to sign off 2024 from Dylan McCulloch. That sort of race, his sort of race. Sort of finish that David Cantero will hope for more and more of in 2025 as well, continuing the excellent run of form at the end of this year. I say Buziak with the phenomenal finish of 3rd, first podium on the big stage in World Triathlon.
Is a good consolation, and like you said, finishing the season with a medal is always nice.
This is a man to keep an eye out on, and then some. David Cantero, the blistering run pace, unmatched today. But this man drove it hard on the bike, worked impressively on the swim as well to be out in front. Just had to put enough of a 10K down to ensure there was no chance that Cantero was going to catch him. That's exactly what he did, as he said to us post-race. It was the race that he wanted to do.
Okay, big smile.